So you can hurdle over any obstacle through presence. Because your presence, your being in the moment, allows for greater awareness. And greater awareness slowly dismantles ego over time. It becomes lesser and lesser, and it's not as significant as it was in previous moments. How many times are you in traffic and you're agitated, you're angry? And it's not even just about the point that, it could be saving you from a potential accident, 2 miles up. It's also very stabilizing to come into the moment and realize your agitation is just a thought, and you are not those thoughts. You never have been. You've always been the silent observer, the witness to those thoughts. And no amount of worry or anxiety or agitation is going to get rid of those thoughts. They're not going to make you any more peaceful. Bliss happens in the moment. And if we can't fully encompass that moment, that bliss will never come. You're waiting at a doctor's office, and your appointment was at 10 in the morning, and it's already, 11:15, and you're agitated because you have this idea that you're more important than the moment. And none of us are more important than the moment. That's why, spiritual awakening or ego death isn't really anything special. You should feel the grace in that, but you are not above or below anyone or anything else. Maintaining presence is a gift. And it's a gift that you give yourself. You no longer want to play the character that you once were, because that character wasn't getting anywhere, and there was, pain or agony or suffering that came with it. And those definitions don't do the presence any justice. The presence is always the presence. Being aware is always being aware. And it doesn't mean that you need to get down on yourself for not being present enough. In fact, quite the contrary. It's generally a form of acceptance that this is the way things are right now, and you sit with it. You be with that feeling, that feeling of dread, and you learn to embrace it. You learn that you are not it, but it is trying to get at you, and no good is coming from it. So as you maintain presence, the awareness comes, and then the awareness of the awareness comes, and you can just kind of be at peace in those notions, no matter what you're going through in life. Know that it is temporary. It's not going to be here forever. So look at it as a gift. It's a lesson. It's something that you need to learn, maybe that you haven't been paying much attention to most of your life. And now all of a sudden it's here, and in that is the blessing. That's the gift that you're given by the universe to expand your consciousness, to look at things differently. If you want any type of change in your life, you have to change what you're doing. You can't just keep doing the same things over and over again and hoping for different results. You have to change your mind. Your mind is a very fragile thing, and it can be dismantled pretty easily just by sitting in silence and being quiet and being observant and watching not just your thoughts, but your environment. You can just be in the kitchen and go, that's a table, that's the ceiling. And it seems redundant, and it seems very unintellectual. And that's because it is. The intellect is a part of the ego. And I mean, how many of us would just rather be right than be at peace? We all want this idea of, I'm right, you're wrong, I win. But nobody wins. So just remember, whatever you're going through, there are a lot of other people that are going through either the same thing or something worse, or maybe something less. And we all suffer until we don't. Until you lose the parts of yourself that think that what you're going through is a form of suffering, you will never know calm. Just being in this moment and appreciating it for what it is. I mean, we are lucky to even exist. More people have not existed than there are in existence. So your presence can be honed. It can be not necessarily added to, but it can be culminated in the consistency of the act of presence. And I know that doesn't help when you're going through a really hard time. I've been through a lot of hard times in my life, and when I look back at it, I don't really identify with it anymore. Not that I'm above it, but it just doesn't have the teeth that it once had. It's not as painful. And it's not as painful because you're not in it. You can remember who you were, or who you are, or what you went through, and not have to identify with it. It's almost like looking at a character in a movie. So, as you sit with these feelings that you have, and maybe whatever situation that you're going through, look at the gift of it. Look at what it's teaching you. It's some type of a lesson or a test. Like, do you really want to change? Do you really want to be present in the moment, in silence, in gratitude? And if you do, then you have to work for it. You have to sit down every day and meditate. Find the divine in things. Talk to people like you're talking to God. Just be a decent human being. It's already in you. Everybody has it. You just have to be quiet enough to hear it. So as always, much love, and I hope this helped.